Wednesday, 29th of July 2015. Paper highlights. First, let's look at the paper highlights from Daily Mirror. Membership of 5 SLF peers cancelled. President Maithripala Sirisena, who is also Sri Lankan Freedom Party chairman, yesterday cancelled the party membership of ministers Rajitha Senaratne, Arjuna Ranatunga, SB Nawinna, MKADS Gunawardana and provincial councillor Hirunika Premachandra on charges of violating the party constitution. Dr. Senaratne is contesting the general election from the Kalutara district, SB Nawinna from the Kurunegala district, MKADS Gunawardana from the Trincomalee district and Hirunika Premachandra from the Gampaha district. They have joined the UNFGG and contesting on the United National Party ticket. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. 110 civil society groups aligned with UNFGG. Some 110 civil society organizations and trade unions yesterday signed a 14-point pledge with the United National Front for Good Governance for a fair, democratic and people-friendly constitution. More highlights from Daily Mirror. Death of Tajuddin. Court calls for final post-mortem report. The Colombo Additional Magistrate yesterday ordered the Colombo Judicial Medical Officer to submit the final post-mortem report pertaining to the death of former Havelock Sports Club captain and Sri Lankan ruggerite Wasim Tajuddin in court before September 10th. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. Wi-Fi for entire Sri Lanka. Government signs agreement with Google. The whole of Sri Lanka will be converted into a Wi-Fi zone by March next year, providing internet access to those living in all parts of the country through an agreement signed between global IT giant Google and the Sri Lankan government at Temple Trace yesterday. The technology has become available through a simple beginning where the State Minister for Defence Ruwan Wijewardena had a conversation with Chamath Palihapitiya, a former Facebook senior executive and founder of the investment firm the Social Plus Capital Partnership. During the conversation, the letterhead talked of the latest technology that had been introduced by Google. Later, Mr. Palihapitiya together with Mr. Wijewardena and several other deputy ministers and state ministers including Dr. Harsha D. Silva, Eran Wickramaratne and Ajit P. Pereira had met President Maithripala Sirisena to brief him on the new technology. With the president's instant approval, the proposal was on the fast track to becoming a reality. It did become a reality yesterday with the signing of an agreement between the government and the Information and Communication Technology agency Google. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. Selvam, producer behind South Asian drug ring. Malaysia-based Sri Lankan film producer and a business tycoon Mohammad Mujahid has allegedly been identified as Sri Lanka's chief narcotics supplier. He is suspected to have smuggled in over 1,000 kilograms of heroin during the past few years, the police said yesterday. More highlights from Daily Mirror. MR promises new constitution under UPFA government. Kurunegala district UPFA candidate Mahinda Rajapaksa said yesterday a new constitution and electoral reforms would be enacted in the short term under a UPFA government if the party won the general election. Now let's move to the paper highlights from Ceylon today. Polls chief to issue ban no polls work at opposition leader's office. Commissioner of Elections Mahinda Deshapriya said yesterday at a media briefing in Colombo that a statement would be issued prohibiting the use of the opposition leader's office for election work as it comes under state property. Another highlight from Ceylon today. Rupees 50,000 surety for Rupees 20 theft. A man who was taken into custody on suspicion of having stolen Rupees 20 was produced in court before Chief Magistrate of Colombo Gihan Pilapitiya by the Cinnamon Gardens Police yesterday. The Chief Magistrate ordered that the suspect be released on surety bail of Rupees 50,000. Another highlight from Ceylon today. Tajuddin murder. Court wants final post-mortem report. Additional Magistrate of Colombo Nishanti Perez ordered former Chief Judicial Medical Officer Ananda Samarasekara yesterday to submit the report on the final post-mortem examination performed on late rugby player Mohammad Wasim Tajuddin. Another highlight from Ceylon today. Sri Lanka signs Google Telecom Tower deal. Broadband coverage countrywide. Sri Lanka has signed a deal to deploy Google Loon high-altitude floating telecom tower balloons which will facilitate full broadband internet coverage to the entire country, officials said. Hopefully in a few months more, every person and every device on the island will be covered by 3G, Deputy Economic Policy Minister Harsha D. Silva said on his Twitter feed. Now let's move to the paper highlights from Daily News. Road Front for Good Governance. Agreement signed with a collective of 110 TUs political parties. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said his party discussed with other political parties to have a broader front for good governance. The Premier added he was committed towards implementing what was agreed upon with civil society organizations. The Prime Minister was speaking following the signing of an agreement with a collective of around 110 trade unions, political parties and civil society organizations at the Sri Lanka Foundation Institute yesterday. We will make the economy more competitive while ensuring free education and health to people, he said. Another highlight from Daily News. Vast changes evident. Venerable Sobitha. The people can see for themselves the vast changes that has taken place in the country during the past few months. National Movement for a Just Society convener Venerable Madhuluwawi Sobitha Tero said yesterday. More highlights from Daily News. Several key UPFA figures dodge election manifesto launch. Several key figures of the United People's Freedom Alliance dodged the launch of the party's election manifesto yesterday, informed party sources told the Daily News. Among them were opposition leader Nimal Siripal De Silva, UPFA Ratnapura district leader John Senaviratne, Kandy district leader SB Dissanayaka, several other district leaders and senior ex-parliamentarians. When asked about the party's senior most members being absent at the launch of the election manifesto, a senior spokesman of the party said that they were busy with election campaigns in their respective districts. Another highlight from Daily News. President suspends Rajitha and co. President Maithripala Sirisena, as the SLFP leader using powers vested in him by the party constitution, has suspended with immediate effect the party membership of Dr. Rajitha Senaratne, SB Nawinna, MKDS Gunawardana, Arjuna Ranatunga and Hironika Premachandra for violating the party constitution and party discipline. The decision has been communicated to them. Another highlight from Daily News. Don't arouse communal passions. EC. Election Commissioner Mahinda Deshapriya urged political parties and candidates contesting the forthcoming general election to refrain from arousing communal and religious passions for political gain. More highlights from Daily News. MOU signed to halt Rivers of January 8th victory. A collective of over 110 civil society organizations, political parties and trade unions yesterday signed an agreement with the United National Front for Good Governance to defeat the reactionary forces striving to reverse the victories gained by the people in the aftermath of January 8th presidential election. The last highlight from Daily News. Sri Lanka first to be wholly covered by Wi-Fi by March 2016. Sri Lanka will become the first country which will be entirely covered by Wi-Fi service by March 2016. Sri Lanka has re-entered into the path that establishes strong and close connections among Sri Lankans and between Sri Lanka and the rest of the world, Foreign Minister Mangala Samaravira said. We brought you the paper highlights from today's newspapers and we will bring you more tomorrow.